What up, home skillet? Yep. So I created a compilation with all my Beauty and the Beast cakes and treats, and I thought it'd be fun to talk to you guys and give you a little bit more information about what it was like to create these cakes, because they're kind of cool. Alright, so first I'm creating the celebration cake that Belle wears. I kept calling it a wedding dress cake because I thought it was a wedding dress, but I think she's just celebrating that her friends are no longer appliances and that her boyfriend is no longer a monster, right? I don't like square tops, by the way, so that's why I had a problem with this dress. Now this was one of the first cakes. I mean, this is still a cake where I have 2 layers of fondant. I don't know why I was doing that. I've grown so much from this, which is weird because this wasn't so long ago. Now painting on all of these details was so stressful. It's white fondant, so I had to make sure that every brush stroke of paint was like exact. And you may not know it, but I'm very unsure of myself when I'm doing stuff like this. I was referring back to the picture a lot just to make sure that I got all the details correct, because man, it was difficult. Ooh, these flowers though, they were way too dark for what I was going for. And if you notice, I was painting over them, and I had to paint over them probably like 3 or 4 times just to make sure that they were lighter, because they were just too dark. And you can see here that I've muted them quite a bit in the final product. Yep. She looks pretty, doesn't she? She does. All right, the cookie. So the entire time I was editing this cookie, I was thinking about how I would turn this into a cake, and eventually I figured out how. I really like this cookie. I like icing cookies better than I do like using buttercream on cake. There's so much more control. It really is, because it's so flat, it's like a canvas. It really is a canvas. And just making these little details, boom, it's all worth it to me. I love it. I love all of it. See, look at this. Now the cookie turned into a cake, and this cake is kind of spectacular. Spinning around, cake, you're spinning around. This was I think it's probably one of the most innovative cakes that I've done, but I don't like building structures for things, so I hated this part, and I hated shooting this part. I can't find that shirt, by the way, that I'm wearing. I don't know where it is. Yeah, creating something that you've never seen before and having to do it the first time, and that first time has to be the correct and best time that you've ever done it is, oh my gosh, it's so stressful. Yeah, and I didn't make usually I make backups, but I didn't for this because it was just too big. Yeah, look at this, my sriracha mold again. It's just making everything look super fancy. I just put it on, bend the pieces a little bit, and it looks glamorous. This is one of the only times too that I've worked with sugar paste. Ooh, my favorite part is coming up. Look at this, brushing on some gold luster dust, or bronze luster dust actually. This is my favorite part right here, the time lapse. Look, oh my gosh, look at that, it's all going on. That took so much time, and you guys saw it in what was that, 20 seconds, 10 seconds? Now one of the things I would change about this cake would be the color of the fondant. I think now, in hindsight, it should have been a more muted blue. I think this is way too bright. Yeah, I think it's ugly. I really do. Now, this painting was really cool on this cake. I'm not sure how to paint properly on fondant yet, but I thought it was cool. Now, you may not know this, but the entire time I'm shooting myself making this fondant rose, I'm actually watching a YouTube video on how to create a fondant rose. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh man. But it came out good. It looks so cool. Now, one of the things I would definitely change if I were to do this cake again would be the stem of the rose, because it looks too cartoonish. If it looked more realistic and you had that contrast between the realistic rose and the back with the painted rose, it would have been better. But oh my gosh, I mean, I can't do anything now. It's already been posted probably for like 5 or 6 months. Oh, this was so stressful. And then it broke and I was like, you know what? That's fine. It's fine. We'll deal with it. And it was a mistake, but it didn't end up being a big mistake. And you can't even tell. Look how pretty that looks. Yeah, gosh. The spinning, man. The spinning does everything to this cake. But that stupid stem is gonna stick out like a sore thumb. It should have been thinner. It could have been thinner. The treats, yay! So when I was decorating the cookie, I was actually thinking about this apple. I think it's perfect. This apple is perfect. It looks exactly like Blue Met, and it's really simple. Just melted chocolate, some marshmallows, and a stick to add some details. You can even add like a face onto the stick, and it's perfect. This Lumiere, what is this? It's like a parfait or something? I don't remember. But I can't believe that somebody hadn't thought about that before, because it's so simple. You just take a glass and you paint it and you fill it and you add sprinkles. You could even put a face on that and that would have been better. Now, to be honest, if I were throwing a birthday party for kids, I would not make them these cupcakes. They take too long, and I don't have, I mean, like the 5 that I created, those are probably the only times that I'll ever create them. Well, maybe not. I mean, I had to shoot this several times because I wasn't happy with the end result, and so this was like the best out of probably 5 different times, and it looks nice, but I think I was so over it by the end of it that I didn't even care about it. Now we're getting to my second doll cake. This is the second doll cake I had ever made. I'm not even using my own buttercream yet. I'm using store-bought. Oh god, that cake looks terrible. I was so proud of it when I finished it. I look back at it now and I just think it looks like trash. It really does. You know, I didn't know anything about doll cakes or fondant, and I was basically just looking at Pinterest pictures and being like, I could just shoot this and it'll get views. And it did get views, but now I'm like, this is disgusting. Yeah, there's no concept to this cake. It's just like, how many ruffles can I add to a cake and make it look pretty, huh? But now, like, whenever I make a cake, I always think about like my design aesthetic, how I will translate my drawing into fondant, what designers I want to incorporate that have inspired me. With this, I was basically just taking Belle and being like, let's put her in a gold dress, you know? But here we go. Look, we've got Belle and we're putting her in her classic dress. This is still, I mean, man, my doll cakes have evolved so much since this video, right? Look how thick that fondant is, and that's the second layer. I love this video because it just gets me so nostalgic, because it is the classic Belle dress that everyone's used to seeing. It's so iconic. I wish I added luster dust to this, because that ugly yellow that I'm using as detail bothers the crap out of me. Oh, there you go, my sriracha mold making another appearance. Add in some detail. Then we've got her top. I'm not a big fan of that top. Oh, but these ruffles, I think putting all of those ruffles in just kind of cool. Yeah, I just love adding detail to doll cakes. I've made so many. I really do need to take a break from them though. The beast, look at that beast. I think that was probably the best part of this cake. Just being able to incorporate him and make him dance with Belle. That made it for me. So spectacular. Now you've seen all of my Beauty and the Beast creations. Which one is your favorite? I'm pretty sure you know my least favorite, and even though it's probably not perfect to me, I think the rose cake, the enchanted rose cake, is my favorite. But I want to hear your thoughts, so let me know in the comments below. I love you guys. I will see you very soon. Bye.